सर्वधर्मस्थापकत्वं सर्वधर्मस्वरूपकः आचार्याणां महाचार्यो रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all the teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Namaste, Pranam. Sri Ramakrishna and his intimate disciples, Rakhal, Sri M, and a few other devotees, they are traveling in a carriage from Dakshineshwar to the house of his beloved disciple Balaram Bose. And on the way, Sri Ramakrishna doesn't lose any opportunity of imparting spiritual instructions to the devotees and the disciples. And this crowd is, of course, the intimate disciples, intimate devotees. So Sri Ramakrishna starts talking to them on the way, sitting in this carriage, and he has told them that the sin flies away when the love for God grows in the heart of man. And he again points out that this love of God will not grow in the heart of man till the time man is attached to the worldly things. And what are the worldly things? The things of lust and greed, woman and gold. Till the time man is attached, this love for God will never ignite in his heart, and the opportunity of sins flying away is nullified. So, better take your mind away from the worldly things, get detached, and then the love of God will develop. And Sri Ramakrishna says, simply taking the monastic vows is not going to help anyone if there is any attachment to these worldly things. First, detach yourself completely, then take the monastic vows, then become the all-renouncing sannyasi or the sannyasini. Get out of all these attachments and attractions. And Sri Ramakrishna then also tells about the ways of the Brahmos. Since he had spent just a few days back, he had spent good amount of time in that Brahmo gathering, and also at the place where Rabindranath Tagore and his family members were there. And the Brahmos, they don't worship the God with form. They are the followers of the formless aspect of the God. So Sri Ramakrishna also brings that particular point during this discussion and tells them the members of Brahmo Samaj do not accept God with form. And why only members of Brahmo Samaj? His beloved Narendra. His beloved Narendra also doesn't believe in God with form. Narendra says that God with form is a mere idol. What is the use of worshipping such an idol, such a clay image? And then Sri Ramakrishna comments upon what Naren used to say about Sri Ramakrishna. Naren used to tell that Sri Ramakrishna, having attained the Advaitic realization, he still goes and sits at the feet of that image of Mother Kali in Kali's temple. That was the kind of the fun that Naren used to make about Sri Ramakrishna. He used to ridicule Sri Ramakrishna in the initial days of his association, that what is the point of going and sitting there. And then we had seen that instance in the life of Naren, when he wanted Sri Ramakrishna to pray to the mother to bring him out of those worldly miseries for him and his family members. And the rest is the history, how he asked mother for the dispassion, the knowledge, the discrimination, and the renunciation. Well, having come to Balaram Bose's house, they spent some time, and now they have come to the house of another beloved disciple, Adhar. Adhar has organized nice kind of kirtan, and a lot of neighbors and devotees, they have gathered in the drawing hall of Adhar, and they are all eagerly waiting to hear the nectarine teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna is in the midst of all this wonderful group, and he starts talking to them, to the devotees. Sri Ramakrishna says, both worldliness and liberation depend on God's will. If it is God alone who has kept man in the world of the state of ignorance, and man will be free when God of his own sweet will calls him to himself. It is like the mother calling the child at mealtime when he is out playing. When the time comes for setting a man free, God makes him seek the company of holy men. Further, it is God who makes him restless for spiritual life. So, this is the first teaching Sri Ramakrishna starts with all these devotees who have gathered in others' drawing room. That God will make everything possible for the devotee to turn Godward. Both worldliness and liberation depend on God's will. It is all His will. He has put us in that frame of mind to get attached, to get attracted to the things worldly. And liberation also He has planned well in advance. It is God alone who has kept the man in the world of state of ignorance. With that veil of Maya, God has blurred the vision of man, and he thinks the worldly things are the reality. That is the biggest illusion that God has created for the ordinary human beings who are in the state of binding, who are in the Baddha state, who are bound to the things worldly. It is all God's will, Sri Ramakrishna says. God puts us in that place. First, you go and get attracted. First, you go and get attached to the things worldly. At the right time, I will remove that chain. I will remove that binding, and then I will take you on my lap. So, and then Sri Ramakrishna says, this is exactly like what what the mother calling the child. Child is playing outside. Child is happily playing outside with his friends. He is not even bothered about his hunger, about it is time to take lunch, and he is enjoying his time playing with his friends and with his team members. And then suddenly there is a call from mother. Come, child, it is time for lunch. Lunch is ready. I'm going to serve you the lunch. And then the child wakes up. Oh my God, I have been playing all around with my friends. I am not even bothered about lunch. I don't even know that it is time for lunch. But my mother has called. My mother has called. Lunch is ready. And now she's going to serve me delicious lunch. So this is exactly what happens in case of the remembrance of God by these worldly attached people. God will call them. When the right moment comes, when the time for lunch comes, the mother will give a call to her child who is playing outside. Come, my child. God says, come, my child. Now it is for you to get into the company of holy men. Now it is time for you to start chanting my holy name. Now it is time for you to sing my divine glories. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna says, that further God makes him seek the company of holy men. And when that kind of curiosity ignites, when that curiosity of what is beyond, when that curiosity grows in the mind of a world, so-called worldly attached person, all these attachments, they start getting removed, they start getting detached. And then man starts seeking God. Then man starts seeking what is the reality, what is the ultimate reality. Then the journey starts. Till then, it is all enjoyment, playing with the friends in the open field there, with all those toys and with all those attractions around. At the right time, God will ignite that passion. God will ignite that love in the heart of man, and then one starts looking for God. Now, how to start looking for God? Suddenly, God won't come and appear before us. So, first, God puts us in the company of holy men. He makes us seek the company of holy men. He makes us get into the satsanga. And then the journey starts. Then that spark, once ignited, then it starts burning in its full glow. Further, it is God who makes him restless for the spiritual life. And then that intensity becomes so strong. Intensity of knowing the God, the urge for knowing the God, the urge for what lies ahead, the urge for seeking answers to the questions like, who am I? Why have I come here? What is my goal? Then that journey starts. Then seeking the answers to those questions, it starts. Once a person gets into the company of holy men. There is all around, there is the same discussion going on. What is the Lord? How to chant the name of Lord? What to chant? And singing the glories of the God. So this is what happens when that spark ignites in the heart of a worldly man. Then the detachment starts slowly, 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 slowly. At one point of time, the mind was so much attached and attracted to the things worldly, to the things lust and greed, to the things woven and gold. Now all those ties, they start getting cut off. And now that the stage of mumukshu, the stage of seeking the higher and higher and higher and the ultimate truth, that stage arrives. And then the mind becomes so restless that one is day in and day out, one is just contemplating on the thought of God. One is just meditating upon the chosen ideal. And that is how the change happens by the will of God. Now, this happens, Sri Ramakrishna says, this also happens by the will of God. God mesmerizes us. God hypnotizes us with all that veil of Maya. And then it is God alone. God starts removing the veil. And then that curiosity for what lies ahead, it starts growing in our hearts. And then the worldly attachments, the worldly attractions, they start getting abolished, they start getting detached in their totality. And then that restlessness, then is the great yearning, then is the real urge to seek the ultimate truth that comes up. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.